I can't believe this. My son is trying to take my last $10.
This dude's got $50.
No, bro. Actually, what I'm quoting, bro, I didn't know that it was a Jewish man. So they actually said that it was racist. But if you see it, it's not.
All right. Well, great way to start the show. This is YingYangSports. I'm Justin. That's Joel. Alongside us is Chase, just as he was yesterday. Also, as you guys dubbed him, Yellow Shirt. But his name is Chase. He's a beauty. He just started working here. Long member of Chat Fam. Any?
I thought about wearing a yellow shirt today, but I decided against it.
I'm glad you didn't, because then they would have made it on brand.
That's crazy that everybody wore a black shirt today.
Yeah.
That is wild.
A little yellow on the shirt, but yeah, all black.
I'm wearing a black shirt under this too. All right, moving on. I don't know where I was going with that one. But yeah. So we're moving closer. We're so close. Tomorrow is one day away from college football. And even though it is only week 0, I am so pumped up. Are you guys getting excited, or is it still like...
I ain't watching it. Wait, who is it?
Georgia Tech and Florida State.
Technically, there's a few games that are on tonight as well.
No, there's not. There's not.
No?
No. He was looking at next week's schedule.
Okay.
Next Thursday.
I got you. I mean, week 0, probably not gonna wet the whistle for me too much. Can't say I'll be like locked in like I would be for like week.
I'm not asking to be locked in on every single game.
I ain't watching that shit at all. If that shit on. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at as week 0 as like one of the last like weekends of summer. Like once football starts, I'm thinking of like fall as like really here. So
see, that's honestly, and the reason for my probably over anxious wait for week 0 is the fact that I will be at a music festival for week 1 of college. So I will be limitedly paying attention, and it will be a lot of highlight watching for me on Sunday and Monday to catch up. But we are so close. Is there any? We need to hash this out, though. So after the show, shout out Dante. What's good? He said, what up, though, in chat.
Hey, what up, Dante?
But we were talking after the show today, or it might have been before the show, and we were talking about Quinn Ewers. And I just wanted I want to bring that up because I want to get Joel's thoughts. Joel, I told Chase that Cam Rising is more of a known commodity than Quinn Ewers, and that he is a proven commodity, where Quinn Ewers has yet to necessarily win a big game. What are your thoughts on that?
I would say, Justin, I can't really side with you on that one. Week 2, Alabama. That was a pretty big game. Going in Tuscaloosa.
That was before that team
that's what I'm saying.
Found their stride.
That
Alabama team was not even remotely ready to play that game.
I'm not trying to hear nothing.
Who would you rather have as your quarterback? Cam Rising?
I was just about to say that too.
Depends on the offense. It's all styles make fights. There are types of offenses I would rather have Cam Rising.
Who said what quarterback would you rather have? Not what style, like not if we run in a such and such offense. He said
it depends.
No. Which quarterback would you rather have? Like, just pure straight up, you're going to rather have Quinn Ewers.
And I did say, And
Quinn Ewers was also dropping bombs in the CFP game, too.
That is true.
His team just didn't.
I did say
defense just didn't come up for him.
I think Quinn Ewers is a better quarterback, but I think they're mistaken my love for Cam Rising, because Cam Rising is a great college quarterback, and they were mixing the fact of NFL prospect versus great college quarterback. I wouldn't say great. I'd say really good college quarterback. Quinn Ewers is supposed to be great and has never ascended to that great level. I would never say, other than the college football playoff game, there was times, and he was playing with a hurt shoulder. I will throw that caveat in there, and that is valid. But I think that there is more to be desired when it comes to Quinn Ewers, and I just think Cam Rising is very steady. When he is healthy, he's very good.
I know exactly. I was saying, I don't even mean to cut you off, but I know this. I can hear exactly where this is coming from. You have a way lower standard for Cam Rising. So him going over that just a little bit, you like, oh, he's at this level. And you thinking you want Quinn Ewers to be so high. And if he even just gets to this point, you like, oh no, he's right there with Cam Rising. When in actuality, bro, it's like I would really say I won't say it's obvious that Quinn Ewers is a better quarterback, but watching him play, I just like the way that Quinn Ewers throws the ball away better. Like
we weren't calling Cam Rising a bad quarterback either. We were
that's
we were
what
just
I'm not
saying
saying.
like Quinn Ewers is better.
Yeah,
and like you would rather
sure
have
is,
Quinn Ewers over Cam Rising.
Yeah, he for sure is.
That's valid. But I'm saying in terms of like, because like I always equate it as, well, I guess it doesn't matter because it's whatever team. Texas is built for Quinn Ewers, where Cam Rising.
I mean, you could say the same for Cam Rising. They had been having a crazy defense. You look at the games where they played USC. They suffocated Cam, or Caleb Williams. It wasn't like they was going in like just a gunslinger, shoot it out battle. It was a defense that was just carrying him. I won't say carrying him, but damn near carrying him. Yeah, she's so cold. Oh my god.
I don't know. They were
going
off
to Miami this weekend.
I'm hip.
They were off taken when I said Cam Rising is at 7 out of all QBs in the country, and Quinn Ewers was at 5. That was like a bad take for me. They were saying.
I mean, that's before our game has even been played, so I ain't gonna get too mad at it either way. But, would you say Shadur better?
Then Cam Rising?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's.
So that's what I was gonna say. How do you have the 7?
He was at 6. He was at 6. It goes Dart, Ewers.
Ewers was near the top of the list.
That was Phil Steele's list. Phil Steele had him at 4.
Yeah.
I had him at 5.
But then
Rising at 7, and I have Dart and Shadur between. I think that's really fair. And you and I don't remember who else was in the conversation. We're saying that
it was you, Sam, and myself.
Yeah, Sam was saying that he should be lower than that. He should be at like 8 or 9.
Who? Cam Rising?
Yeah.
Baiting 8 and 9. That's I don't even know what's the word for that, but it's when you just fighting something that's minuscule. It's like
that's what you do.
Minute.
Though.
Yeah.
We're just waiting for.
Or they say something like that's some dumb shit. No, it's like a sin. I can't remember it. But no, what you call it? I saw something that somebody said in the chat that I wanted to bring up to y'all though. And it was the fact that I didn't see what he was replying to, but he said something that I feel very like I resonate with. And he said Lions fans are taking the Super Bowl for granted. Like, and I really truly do feel that way. Cause like, yes, we did play in an NFC Championship game. Yes, we did have a 17-point lead. But it's like, bro, the Super Bowl is such like a hard thing to get to. Like, it is. You still have to go through a whole nother 17-week season plus the playoffs. So you got to survive that with injuries. You got to survive that with just team chemistry. You got to survive that with being able to just find a play style that's going to work throughout the 17 weeks. And we have a way, way tougher schedule than last year. Because I think a lot of people are thinking back on ending last year, the 9-8 year, with a winning streak, and then this year starting with a long winning streak. So I think we got a little spoiled with the regular season, man, like remembering like the last couple weeks of just being such this elite team. But
we had bumps and bruises along the ride.
In the post-game press conference, Dan Campbell came out and said that like next year it's going to be twice as hard.
Well, no, yeah,
go to make it half as far.
Yeah, no, Dan Campbell understand that. I'm just more so saying the fans, and we need the fans to understand it too for this to all work, because it's like if they're getting like worried throughout the season and like say like like how fickle and thin fans could be, like just like Anson said it perfect, like week 2 Seahawks fans after the Seahawks game, fans was ready to jump off the ledge. Like people, I'm literally looking at Twitter and shit, like people like, oh my god,
no, they were freaking out.
Yeah, so
I was at a wedding and every single person in my family was freaking.
That's what I'm saying, like bro, like no, we gotta understand, like bro,
SOL,
that's what's gonna come with this season. Like if you really pay, Chiefs are the prime example of last year, bro. People were saying writing them out for the playoffs last year. They were saying like they're not even gonna make the playoffs. They're like, all right, if they do make the playoffs, they first round exit. They were just writing off the Chiefs completely.
Well, they've won the AFC West like 8 years in a row. They're going for 9 straight division titles.
But I'm saying, like, just the media. If you look at what they were saying, they were writing them off completely just because they were having losses here and there. They weren't used to, like, them just not dominating throughout the whole regular season. So it's just more so saying, like, you guys just get used to that. Like,
the summer low-key kills journalists because of the fact that, like, you start over and analyzing, and you start looking in so deep that you start, like, kind of second-guessing yourself on stuff that you should be confident about. And I think that is 100% something that is lost on people. It's the recency bias. It's, the Lions, we were so good in the playoffs, but, like, we had favorable playoff matchups. Like, let's be real.
No, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Like, we had favorable playoff matchups in the playoffs. That's why we got so far. Like, it is a path. And, like, that's what me and Neil have been going over when we've been talking about college football and the playoff. Where is the path to the playoff? The path has to be there. Like, you're not just going to, like, yeah, if you have an easy schedule, but you play a couple big teams, you're going to be rewarded for playing those big teams. And so, and to tie this back into the Lions have a harder road this year to get definitely. To the Super. The NFC is better. The Eagles will be better. They will most likely will not completely collapse in the second half.
Call a spade. The league better.
Yeah, I mean the Bucks lost very little. Atlanta's better. I mean the Rams lost Aaron Donald, but their offense is going to be electric. So we're in a state of chaos in football constantly. Anything can happen every given Sunday, and that's what it's going to be as we move forward. Because, we do match up well against a lot of teams in the league. Straight up, we should be able to run the ball down teams' throats and win a shit ton of games purely off of that and how good our running backs are. But, there's going to be times where JG's got to win us a game. He might fail. Who cares? It's a long season, and, I think we've gotten that a million times. It's about being there at the end.
That's what I was just about to say.
We're in the playoffs and we have a favorable path. I would rather play wild card weekend and have a favorable matchup than have an unfavorable matchup and have a bye. It does not matter unless there isn't the path. And if you go look at any team, there's a path. You can always go back in NFL history and you can go look and you can say, well, if this team actually beat this team, then they would have beat this team, and then that team wouldn't have won a Super Bowl. You can do that, but at any given Sunday.
Literally. And
if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, then every day would be Christmas.
Or it's just more plain and simple, as my dad always say. If we're fifth, we'd all be drunk. But to even put it in a simple way, or not even to put it in a simple way, but just to look back at that game, even the Rams game, we won by 1 point, and that was a super nail biter. The fucking Bucks game damn near was a nail biter. So it's bro,
one play differently, one fumble.
That's what I'm saying.
You saw it in the championship game.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why it shouldn't be.
Puts it off his head. Gibbs fumbles. We lose the game. Straight up.
Literally. So that's why it's Super Bowl. I get it. I am definitely on that train. I for sure expect to see the Lions playing for a Super Bowl, or at least playing to be in the Super Bowl, or playing. You get what I'm saying? Very close to that.
Shout out to Dante for understanding this point about not.
No, yeah.
About not.
Dante a real one. He already will.
For real.
But it's just bro, it's like I already said earlier, it's like a window super, super, super thin. So,
all right. So I want to get Joel's opinion on this real quick. And
bro, busting out the notebook.
What I'm about to pull out. I made a college football playoff, and it's based off of conference revenue shares, the path. What we just talked about, the path. They have to have the path. And all these teams have the path to the playoffs. And I would love to get your opinion on each team. And I'm gonna give you 12. And tell me 1 to 5 how realistic it is.
Why don't you give them 13? Because there's that other school that I know you have left off your list, but I think is gonna. We were a little bet about our two teams.
So 1 to 5 if they can actually win.
What are 2 teams again? Oh yeah.
So 1 to 5 that they actually win the championship.
A little bet going on in this college football season about.
Let them know.
Well, I won't spoil the schools, but it's just simply we have 2 teams in the same conference and differing opinions on which schools.
I do remember.
And which schools are gonna do better.
We'll get that at the end.
I was gonna say, what's the list?
All right. So the first school
So
Georgia.
1 through 5 on like chances to win the championship.
No.
No, these are just like teams.
in,
Like
to
if you
get
think it would be
To
in the
get into the
playoffs.
playoff,
Yeah.
5,
Texas.
5,
Alabama.
5,
Ole Miss.
4,
Ohio State.
4.
Oregon.
I get them at 3.
Should be a 5. I promise you. Penn State.
Penn State. I damn near might be lower on them than Oregon.
Well, I mean, they just have the path. They avoid Michigan. They avoid Oregon. They avoid Ohio. I think they.
Oh, they don't play
Ohio
Michigan
State.
this year? Oh.
No, they only play. The only big game they have is Ohio State. They have 2 losable games on the schedule. Like the worst they can go is 10-2. I promise you.
Never say never. 2.5.
2.5. All right, Miami.
So I really probably get them a 3.5. Miami. Damn, I don't know if I can believe in Miami or not, bro.
If it's any year, it's this year.
That's what I was just about to say.
It literally.
So for that, I get them 4.
Utah. Someone's got to come out of the Big 12.
I already told you, man.
No, absolutely not. Colorado's not making the playoff. I will bet so much money.
Did you do the watch thing? I was
He did.
I told him bust down my
be for
8 feet. Hey,
Be for real.
bro, I'm telling you, bro.
I know you're not being for
It's
real.
about to be a takeover for them.
Come on.
They're in a weaker conference. They got a better schedule, man. This is their year.
No, the way you're smiling at me, I know you lying. Stop.
No, I'm just blow. Prime time takeover, man.
All right.
Don't
Don't listen to this propaganda he's spewing. What are you saying over there?
I said I want to see Travis Hunter do well.
I mean,
That's
I
what
want
I'm
to see
saying.
Colorado do well. Like, I mean, straight up, prime time is good for college football, but I just don't believe. Not in this year. Notre Dame.
They probably really got a 5, honestly, and I don't even like saying that.
Nah, they have another easy path.
Yeah, no, that's what
Michigan.
I'm like, I get them.
I have them as my last team in.
I was gonna say about it, like it was 3.5, 4.
The other teams I had on the bubble will just
Honestly, 3.5. I'll get in at that.
All right, so these are the teams I had in the bubble behind them, and I want to get your thoughts about them. Texas A&M.
Oh, shit about them.
All right. USC.
USC, bro. No, they got a player on there, bro. On fucking NCAA. I forgot his name. Branch is his last name though. I forgot his first name though. Bro, he's so crazy in the game that if he play anything like what you call it, the game, they damn near might get that 12 seed.
Yeah, they're a 9-3 candidate for sure. I'm just gonna run through the rest of them. You can hit any of them if you would like. Tennessee, Florida State, Clemson, Oklahoma State, and Kansas.
Wait, I didn't even hear. Florida State probably honestly make it. I could see that. I could for sure see
Yeah.
that. I don't know.
Did we decide Florida State was in this morning or no?
I don't
I think they were
remember.
the first team out because me and Neil decided that 9-3 Michigan would get in over 10-2 Florida State.
I mean,
do you think
possibly.
about that?
I don't know. I don't know if like that's necessarily the case.
It's too many teams. Since it's 12 teams now, that damn near cuts that out. Like if it was 4 teams, then yeah, that probably would have been the case. But would have been 12. I think nah.
Like is it 10-2 Florida State winning the ACC, or who are they losing the conference
No,
to?
they're
If
not. They're not winning the ACC.
who do they lose the conference to?
They lose the conference to Miami.
Okay.
In this scenario, they lose the conference to Miami.
I'd still think
They're 10.
because that second loss would have
So
come in
9
the
and
conference
3 wouldn't even give
championship game.
Michigan the Big Ten championship.
You know, that second loss would have come in the conference championship. I don't think that the playoff committee would.
Well, then they'd be 10-3 or 9-4. 10-3 or 9-4 Florida State that played in their conference title game versus Michigan. It was 9-3.
So you're saying they're going to lose 2 games in the regular season, and then not including the conference playoff? Because
Yeah.
I think a 10-2 Florida State, whose second loss comes in the conference championship game.
That would be their third loss.
Okay.
There's no scenario they have 2 losses. I guess it would be 10-3 that they lose in their conference title game.
Yeah. So,
or 9-3 Michigan.
well, I mean, you have to factor in the conference championship games into like the record.
Yeah, I mean, it's how you gonna look at it?
Well, like, so, like,
all right.
I mean,
I'll
like,
ask you this: what tells you definitively that they won't do the same thing they did last year for the defending national champions versus Florida State? What they did, bringing in Bama, who had a worse record last year. What can you tell me definitively?
I can easily tell you that if DJ how the fuck you say?
YingYangSports.
Yeah, if he's playing, if he's not injured, then they're gonna put him in. They literally only didn't put in Florida State because they were down to third string quarterback. That's the simplest answer for that right there.
Yeah, I mean, I think last year was
That's not a great answer for me. Like, honestly,
how the fuck is that not, bro? If you're a quarterback,
I don't think last season's a precedent.
All right, bro. My bad. Imagine
good.
if right now we put in Nate fucking Sudfeld to play our whole season. That answers the whole question right there. Now go to.
I was just say last season, they weren't setting a precedent. It was
be able to overcome that in college. I'm not saying you can do it
last
in the
year
pros,
was
but
the
you can do it in
exception.
college.
Last year was the exception,
Bro,
not the rule.
Got their teeth
like the exception that
in.
Florida State got left out was because of their quarterback getting injured. It's not the rule that you just leave out an undefeated Power 5 conference team who won their conference over who was Alabama, who lost, didn't win their title, didn't win their conference, didn't even compete in the conference championship game. I don't believe.
No, they were.
Oh
they
yeah. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up because now the conferences are realigned now. So I keep thinking that last year Alabama or Texas and Oklahoma were in the SEC as well.
They played what you call. What the fuck was
also,
they played Georgia. Yeah.
And that was a close game.
Markets matter. Michigan had the number 4 most revenue as a college last year. They have a bigger TV deal. They get a bigger revenue share of the playoff. There's more eyes on if it's Michigan than it's Florida State. All of this matters. I'm not gonna lie,
I don't think the drop off from Florida State and Michigan would be too far off.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think
Florida State's a huge school and a huge brand too.
They're not even in the top 20 of revenue.
As far as what revenue,
the TV revenue and stuff like that.
Because most of the games are on fucking ESPN, and it's
I'm not
other teams playing or 8 other games that be on ESPN every Saturday.
Yeah. I mean, they're playing the games on the field. Understandably, the ultimate decision of the teams getting in is there's going to be financial factors that play into it. It's why a team like Houston is going to get passed over, or Memphis are going to get passed over for any. I think Houston's in the Big 12 now, but for a team in the SEC, a team in the Big 10, a team in the ACC, like you said, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, any of those top tier power programs are always going to get the benefit of the doubt over, a team that has maybe captured lightning in a bottle for one season. They're going to go with tradition over just the parity of the 1 year. But I still don't think that we're going to see drastic decisions made because of financial revenue. I think that's the whole reason of the playoff expansion was because we had the BCS. We had no national championship game. It was decided on by the media. Then we had the BCS, which was always teams are getting left out. People TCU fans back in the day before they were in the
that's another
Big
example
12.
of them doing it.
What do you mean?
Them leaving TCU out there. It's another example of them doing it.
That was in the BCS. They didn't leave TCU out the year they got in. I think TCU and the fact that they got blown out by Georgia so bad played a factor into why.
No, not that year. They left them out in Tyron Boykin's year. That was a playoff year.
No, they weren't good enough to be in the playoff.
They had the record
you're talking about.
and the strength of schedule to do it, but
they
left them out.
They weren't good enough.
Okay.
That's when Cincinnati, the year
they
before
can say
they got.
the same thing about
That's
Florida
Cincinnati
State.
the year before they got. They made the playoffs. They got left out because it's you have to prove it to us. There's a reason UCF.
I was just about to say that.
There's a reason UCF they were good. What was their record the next season?
I think 13-0 or some shit.
Yeah, I think they won 3 games the next year. Not even they were awful. They went from one of the only undefeated teams in the nation to one of the lowest winning teams within 2 seasons. You can't. Just because you captured lightning in a bottle one time doesn't mean that you're a good program. Like Wake Forest went to a BCS bowl back in like the 2000s or like the 2010s.
Western went to one.
Yeah, exactly. Northern Illinois went to one.
Oh, dude.
Like
Their quarterback Lynch. Can we talk about that? Do you know who I'm talking
Jordan
about?
Lynch?
Jordan Lynch? Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
Like-
That dude was such
but like
a
those
dog.
guys, like just because they had a good season doesn't mean like you are the best. Like you have to think about like what
Exactly, and strength of schedule is going to matter.
I know, like
and the strength of the Big Ten schedule is harder than the strength of the ACC schedule.
That's our perception. We have no clue what these teams like. This is what our
Right,
projections are. For all we know, the Big Ten, in theory, could suck this year.
That's
Every
true.
team, and the ACC could be a powerhouse wagon that we don't know about. Same thing with like the Big 12. Everyone's only talking about the SEC and the Big 10. SEC and the Big 10. And I agree. Like
But
those are the
there's
two
factors that like lead you to like there's film, there's returning starters, there's like
Yeah, but like this is all like the factors that lead into your projections, but all the projections mean nothing the second that there's 15 minutes on the clock in the first quarter and those players step on the field. None of that matters. All that matters is what happens over the next 60 minutes.
That's true.
That's why I feel all
But,
the
like-
speculation be like too in depth. Like, bro, they haven't even stepped on the field yet. I mean, like, y'all ready to crown like certain like players to be like best at their position for the whole year, and haven't
I'm
even
not. I'm
seen
trying
them
to
play for the whole
project
year.
it. That's our job, dog.
I mean, I don't really do it.
That's
You
great.
don't have to do it. You can just talk about
But yeah, all
what you
right.
see.
So what am I gonna have every time that I bring up a topic? I'm just gonna be like you. Oh yeah, I'll just wait till the season starts.
No, that's not
It's
even that.
preseason.
It's just more so like you saying like who did you say the number one quarterback was gonna be this year?
Carson Beck.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
There's only so much you can like project and like talk about hypothetically though.
that's exactly what I'm saying. Like you can like say like,
There's a
oh, I
balance.
think this player is gonna be that, but like people getting all up in arms like, oh no, this is gonna be that, this is gonna be that, this is gonna be that. You don't know.
I think
That's what we're
I think
saying.
what he's saying is like the emotion that people get so riled up about is like not something that he's going to invest his like time into, but not necessarily that like the analysis and stuff is like not worth it.
Yeah,
It's just
I
like
think about the season, but it's like,
yeah.
what am I gonna get mad about anything
Yeah.
And
preseason
that's
for?
valid.
Because it seems like it feels like
I think people mistake the fact because this happened earlier today with shout out Mason, but like I wasn't mad on Big D this morning. Like I was just getting like for the like I just like I have an emotional way that I talk about stuff, but like I don't like I leave the studio, I go chill. Like I don't give a fuck.
oh yeah.
I guess I'm just not an emotional.
I feel like
person in
sometimes
any
people
aspect.
characterize like emotion and loudness for like actual analysis. Like it's just like it's just reactions. It's
But like I mean, I guess something I will get emotional about is like the Drew Aller love. Like I'll never understand
The
it.
who?
Drew Aller.
he's the quarterback at Penn State.
I'll never
I didn't even hear who he had said.
I never understand the
Who
love.
was loving him?
It's flannel.
Uh.
Like Aller's so mid, it's crazy. He can't even complete a
Yeah, I was gonna say when I saw
deep or
them play
intermediate
against
throw.
when I saw them play against Ohio State and Michigan, I didn't even really see him.
He folded like a lawn
do
chair.
anything,
And it's
yeah.
ridiculous how much love he gets.
I'm not gonna lie, if I remember correctly, but that Ohio State game was actually winnable for the longest. If he would have been able to like,
If he
if he would have just been competent,
could have won the Michigan game. He
They
could have
could.
won both.
Yeah, I was about to
games.
say actually thinking about both of those games where he could have put both of those games away.
He fumbled
If he
in
would
the
have just
Michigan
been,
game.
if he would have just been a competent enough quarterback to lead a couple drives,
Yeah.
because like the defense was playing,
100%.
the defense was playing good enough in both of those games to stop him for long enough that you could have built a good enough gap.
Yeah, I completely agree. So how, I guess, looking at this, looking at how good does the ACC comparatively to the Big Ten have to be for it to be 3 Big Ten teams and 2 ACC teams instead of 4 Big Ten teams and 1 ACC team?
Wait, my bad. I didn't hear what you said.
I honestly I'm not good at math, so like it's hard for me to like try to balance all of this stuff around. Like I'd have to like write it out all on paper and like look at it, and like as far as like looking at teams' calendars and schedules and just counting up their wins and losses.
That's
I don't know. I don't know what the I need like a visual aspect of it though.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I think like it's just got to play it out because it's like even if I'd say like even if like Miami loses to Virginia Tech could be way better than people expect, and what could be perceived as like a more of like a poor loss earlier in the season might end up, factoring out to be something way better than, like the early season projections are. As I've gotten older, I've gotten more aligned with the thinking of like getting rid of the preseason rankings altogether. And I honestly don't even care about the AP poll because that's what matters for like the first 7 weeks. But the first college football playoff rankings drop, nobody they change the rankings based on that, not the AP poll.
So my question to that is, how would you for the first couple? I mean, not even first couple, but for the first week, you just would want. No
I don't think I just think there should be no rankings at all. Like I think you could put number. I think you could.
That's a fair point.
Yeah. I think you could put number one on the reigning and defending national champions, just because they are the reigning and defending national champions.
That's valid.
But I mean, I think other than that, I don't think that any other you should be ranking anybody at all, because it's all, like I said, it's all based on simulation. It's like when we go and play Madden at home and everybody talks about that's not real. Why do you get so why do you care so much about a video game? It's like everything you're talking about preseason doesn't matter. So the same we're putting it into a video game, you're putting it into a conversation about just with your friends
I guess the reason why I bring it up, A, is for the entertainment factor, but B, I throw major futures down on the conference championship markets and stuff. Yeah. Last year I went 5 of 6, and my only loss was Alabama. Well, I had Georgia, and Alabama won. That was my only loss on conferences, and then I had the playoff completely right, except I had Florida State in, and they did not.
Oh, it pays to know for sure. I mean, I'm not saying it's not meaningless, and I'd rather be in the know than out, but I don't gamble a ton, but I mean it's definitely very useful information to have that knowledge to use. Cause you can just passively make a little bit of money on the side just from doing something you enjoy, like watching the sports, in the games. So
yeah, no, like I said, I just usually like to wait till week 1, cause really that's when I give most of my predictions. Once I see it on wax, I'm like, all right, this is how they're playing. This is how they play together. This is who's going to be playing. All right, boom. Now I know. Now I'm going to tell you. But, prime example, when I told my roommate, I'm like, bro, Washington's about to play in the national championship. Thought I was crazy. I'm like, bro, no, you got to see how they're playing, bro.
You could tell by week 3.
But I'm saying I wouldn't have been able to tell you that preseason.
Preseason, I was high on Washington.
I would have been like, hey, they're going to be good. But I'm like, I don't know. What? Hey, you never know. Because they waxed Michigan State the year prior to that. So I'm like, yeah, they got the same team. But,
I mean, you could see it coming. I mean, they were coming off an 11-3 season. They just won their bowl game by a convincing margin. They had Penix coming back. They had a Dunze coming back. You saw the fruits of the labor that could have paid off. But yet again, they could have been anywhere from a 10-win team to a 12-win team and not be in the national title game. But you could definitely tell if they were for real after they thrashed Michigan State like that, even though Michigan State was never great last year.
Yeah.
Well, they had, I think, Oregon had them up against the ropes in the conference championship game.
Against the ropes, damn near every game.
Yeah.
Oregon should have won both those games, straight up.
The first game they played at Washington, that was the scariest for Washington. Yeah, because Oregon should have won it, but Danny Lanning just started getting. He got uber aggressive
in the Pac-12 title game.
That's what I'm saying. They had them on the ropes.
Yeah, they were
on the ropes.
They played them 3 times. They played them in the
No, twice.
Pac-12 championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
they played them in the regular season, Pac-12 championship, and then did they play them in the playoffs?
No, Oregon.
I'm blowed.
Oregon went to the Rose Bowl, I believe.
I'm blowed. My bad.
But yeah, I don't think a team could play 3 times in a year. I don't know if that'd be possible.
No, they could, because somebody.
I mean, now that
Georgia
there's
Alabama did that before.
Not 3 times.
I thought it's happened a couple times.
They don't often play during the regular season. They most of the time meet because they were in separate divisions in the SEC. Now that there's divisionless football, now I guess that could be possible.
Now that I think about it,
SEC's divisionless too.
It's for sure happened before. Yep. It had to have.
Well, I mean, it's not across the board, but yeah, SEC's divisionless. Pretty sure the Big 12's divisionless.
Yeah, I know.
And the Big 10's divisionless now too.
Yeah, ACC still has their division.
So, yeah, which is crazy. Yeah, I hope that I hope Stanford and Cal are in the Coastal division of the not the Atlantic division of the
Don't even get me started
ACC.
about that shit.
It makes sense that they're in the coastal because they are on the coast. It's just not the Atlantic. So I hope they're not in the Atlantic division just for that reason.
Yep, nothing says Atlantic Coast Conference like 2 teams on the Pacific Ocean.
Not sure if there's any of the geography fans in the chat from the other day. I know we kind of got into a little bit of a discussion about the SEC and how Oklahoma is actually further south than.
We gotta talk about our bet.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about our bet.
Joel, who do you think is going to have a better season in this upcoming 2024 college football year? The Missouri Tigers or the Oklahoma Sooners? Both in the SEC. I believe they might have a rivalry. I'm not certain about that.
They don't. I don't think.
I don't think they do. I might have to go with Oklahoma on that one.
Okay. Yeah. Last year, Missouri went 10-2. Oklahoma went 10-3.
I would say I think they had a worse record.
Yeah, they had one less loss. They had one less loss. Yeah.
But I like Brent Venables.
He's a very good defensive coach.
You guys have fun with that. I'll be on Missouri with their
Justin and I have
senior quarterback, the best receiver in the country, and Luther Bard, and I will happily ride myself to a free meal for you, Chase.
Yeah, Justin and I have a dinner bet on the little meal bet.
Do they even play during this season?
Yeah,
they do. Yeah,
they play
that's
during
the tiebreaker. So if they have the same record, we're using the head-to-head as the tiebreaker
because it's in Norman.
Yeah,
but I don't care. Missouri will still have a better record, even if they lose that game. Doesn't matter. Still have a better record.
Yeah,
I have fun with Oklahoma's 8-4.
I don't think they're gonna go 8-4. I think
even if they go 8-4, Missouri might fuck around and go 6-6.
Yeah,
Missouri will be 10-2.
Oklahoma's 8-4 is still gonna be better than the 7-5 Missouri.
It's gonna suck.
No, that'd be funny as hell if they do go 8-4.
I think people forget about. I think people have forgotten about Oklahoma. Like I think people just.
I think you're forgetting about looking at anything that they've done over the past. How are you about to go from the most efficient quarterback in the country in Dylan Gabriel to unproven sophomore quarterback in Arnold? They had to do. There's so many quarterbacks that are highly ranked. They lost their weapons. They don't have good weapons.
Your boy Andrew Anthony, I'm pretty sure is at Oklahoma.
Andrew Anthony. Oh my God, Andrew Anthony. Let me cream my pants over that bozo. No, definitely not.
Dude, they recruit well. They're still a big school, and I think people forget they get forgot about. They were in the playoffs the most outside of Alabama and I believe Georgia, or maybe Clemson, because I think they might have the most appearances behind. Or they might be tied with Georgia. I think Georgia's only made it 2 or 3 times now. But,
that's great. Who was the coach when they made the playoff? That's right, not Brent Venables. That's right.
No, it was Lincoln Riley who coaches no defense at all.
Brent Venables coaches zero offense. I mean, what are we doing here?
He hasn't had time yet. I think, dude, they won 10 games last year. They had to have a good enough offense to win 10 games last year.
I mean, hey, I think they're going to take a step back.
That's fair. I think Missouri's taken a huge step back.
Nope.
I mean, what do you have to say about them losing Ennis Rakestraw and Darius Robinson?
They'll be fine.
They'll be fine. Yeah. known
that's what
huge
saying,
powerhouse.
That's all. Missouri. 2 first-round defensive players.
I bet most people don't even know. The city that Missouri's campus is in.
They didn't lose their starting quarterback. They didn't lose their offensive line. They didn't lose their starting running back. They didn't lose their starting wide receiver. Either way, no matter losing the 2 first-round defensive players, their offense will still be electric. And they've been recruiting well over the last couple of years. Very well. Honestly, I believe...
Missouri scores another touchdown. The score is now 37-56. Yep. Oklahoma.
We'll see. We got to bet on it.
So, yeah, I mean, the answers will be...
I'll go with your guys' answer. I guess we'll just have to wait and see some football.
Yeah, we'll figure it out on the field. We'll see. I got faith that the Sooners are gonna beat the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. You guys have a way tougher schedule than Missouri does. So Missouri has the worst. I think
we're a tougher team than Missouri. So,
all right,
but that's okay.
It's all about the path. Last thing, Joel, do you believe Miami's back?
Bro, I damn near will never believe that.
No, Mario Cristobal has
Bro, that was
not
the
instilled
silly-
any faith in anybody from Miami. At least I don't think they
That
should
was
feel.
the silliest shit ever, bro.
Oh, there is one more thing. I forgot to answer.
Like, I will
this
never
comment.
forget that game, bro, because I'm looking at it on FanDuel. I'm
I
like,
couldn't
oh,
believe
Miami
that.
got that locked up. Then I looked. I'm like, what the fuck? How did they just lose? I'm like,
Dante's in the chat saying that Oklahoma went to the SEC to die. They said the same thing about Missouri and Texas A&M. Who's calling for Missouri's death now? No, like Justin's over here claiming for them to be better than Oklahoma now.
They will be. I mean,
We'll see. I don't think so.
We'll see. I mean,
Red Venables going to make a name for herself. A
Yeah,
reinstated
If
name.
Lincoln
Make
Riley
name
was
for
still,
myself.
if Lincoln Riley was still the coach, I think that like Oklahoma would get ran. But they have a like,
Yeah, that's more
like
so what it is. I got more
Brent
faith.
Venables was the guy leading the Clemson defense when they were putting the clamps on Alabama. Get him. He is from Oklahoma.
let me
He's an
let me-
alumnus of Oklahoma. I think he's played defense.
I'd love to see
on
that.
there.
Yeah, he played like
Clemson-
linebacker.
The
Yeah.
Clemson level defensive line talent that he has.
Dude,
at
I would
Oklahoma.
love to see
I'd love
that.
to see it.
I would love to compare the
he
recruiting
doesn't
classes of Missouri and Oklahoma. How many All-Americans at Missouri? There's a
There-
long list of All-Americans at Oklahoma.
Yeah, over like the century. Like
I mean, they were
we're talking
over-
we're
over the
talking
last-
last year.
within the
we're
last-
talking
in less
Brent
than-
Venables there.
In less
like,
than
he's
10
done
years,
nothing.
in less than
That
10
was-
years, they put up back-to-back Heisman winners.
That's a different regime, different recruiting classes. Like, yeah, I mean, you're.
It goes into the fact
it's
of
the
the
same
schools.
people. You are doing the same
Dude.
thing that Michigan fans do,
No.
thinking that there's going to be no drop off from Harbaugh.
I'm not
to Sherrod
saying
Moore.
there's not going to be a drop. First of all, there's not. Oklahoma's not going through a coaching change right now. They've already gone through that. Brent Venables has been there to replace Lincoln Riley. And Oklahoma went from Bob Stoops, who won them national championships, to Lincoln Riley, who kept them in the playoffs, to now Brent Venables, who has
There's a
kept them
natural
afloat.
regression. Michigan will regress this year
And
because they lost.
You're
so
right.
much
There is a
talent.
natural regression.
Oklahoma will
Missouri's
regress.
going to feel that regression this year.
Oh my. They're not gonna. They're not gonna regress. Last
No, I
thing,
was gonna say so.
Kansas Jayhawks. We gotta hit nobody's comment. We can move past this. We're gonna argue about this until we're blue in the face all season.
Perfect comment. Don't sleep on Mizzou. You know who said that? Nobody. Legit. Nobody in the chat. Don't sleep on Mizzou. Like, yeah, that. Thank you. You just made the point right there. Don't sleep on Mizzou. Says nobody.
And well, nobody's an actual chatter, so I mean,
No, that's
you
what
really
he's
did
saying.
something there, buddy. But Kansas, I'm high on Kansas. If Jalen Daniels can stay healthy, if he cannot, they're screwed. That's straight up. And they don't play any home games this year. They play at Arrowhead and they play at MLS Stadium, which is a disadvantage.
The fuck?
Do you guys have any thoughts on Kansas?
Sorry, I was thinking about nobody in the chat for a second. Can you
Kansas.
say it one more time?
Devin Neal.
Devin Neal's a dog too.
Are you talking
Kobe
about so
Bryant.
Kansas? I think they'll be good. I think. I don't think that they're.
they're like
I don't think they're a serious
8-4,
contender.
like
I think.
8-4, 9-3.
I think Lance Leipold is leaving Lawrence after this season.
Yeah, I would assume so. He's a very good coach on the
Yeah.
rise. Well, that'll do it for us today, Yin Yang. Slap that like button. Slap us a follow on Instagram and Twitter, YingYangSports. Shout out to Chase for joining us today.
200 subs, I'll change my name to Yellow Shirt, like I said yesterday.
By what point? When do we need the 200 subs by?
What it's
Today is August 22nd.
what's a good day? By end of September, maybe? That's like
End of
What's
September.
September 14th? Why does that date feel?
I want to say 9/11, but that's too.
That's crazy.
September
Never
4th
forget.
September 14th, that's Ilya Taporia versus Max Holloway. That's a good landmark.
No, let's do the 16th, the Monday. By Monday, the
So, yeah, that's
16th,
Of
September.
Okay.
if you get us to 200 subs, nickname for Chase will be Yellow Shirt.
That's a
And he'll wear yellow shirt.
nice.
Yeah, I'll pack a yellow shirt, and I will fix in the yellow shirt to my wardrobe, even if I don't wear it all the time every day. I will pack it in the bag and just throw it on anytime I'm ever getting the opportunity to be
Sam.
on any show.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll catch you in the next one. Joel, take us out, dog.
Indica or sativa?
Why not both? Hybrid.
Oh, say no. Bruh. Time to make a